So I wanted to make sure that I did a video on how to edit your manuscript once you have completed your novel. I will do on how to write a novel at some point in the future, but right now I'm at the stage of editing my first book, so I am very, very excited to teach you my tips on how to edit. I have edited a lot in the past few months. I've edited other people's work. I've been given feedback on my own, so I would love to share these tips. So tip number 1 is print your novel off on paper, on one-sided paper, so you don't have a page on one side and a page on the other. Make sure it's on one page so you can, if you wanted to, you could spray it all out on the floor and just look at each page individually and look at the whole piece as a whole, which I do recommend doing if you have enough space, which I don't. So I decided to print mine off on one-sided A4 and put it in a LeverArch file folder to be able to flick through it and look through it at my own pace. And so I would suggest printing it off and looking at it as a hard copy. And for me, I didn't realise just how much I'd written. I knew I'd written 50,000 words, but it's just a number. But seeing it as a pile about this thick was pretty overwhelming, and it really gives you that boost of motivation and inspiration to keep on working at it, keep on editing your book, and just coming back to it and just enjoying the whole process. Tip number 2 would be to remember to number your pages. I forgot to do that, and so I realised that after I printed out this huge wad of paper that none of it was numbered, and if for some reason I dropped it or it got messed up in the printer and it printed in a wrong order, I realised I would have no way of knowing which order it all went through unless I read it all and made sure each page lined up. And I wasn't prepared to do that. So last night I made sure to carry it home from uni and put it on the table and gradually go through and hand number them myself, which for 186 pages is quite a tedious event. So please remember on your document on your computer to make sure you put numbers on the pages at the bottom or at the top, wherever you want it. Just make sure you have numbers. Tip number 3 would be to keep it interesting when you edit. Keep yourself motivated by giving yourself treats or taking a break after every chapter that you edit, or however much you want to edit at a time, and how much time, obviously according to how much time you have and just how much spare time you can just sit and edit your book. So I would suggest doing it chapter by chapter as like a maximum sort of. You can obviously go further than that if you want, but considering my chapters are about 5 to 10 pages long, it can be quite jarring. So maybe start with 1 page and then take a bit of a break, like do some social media, do networking for your book, do a blog, which I've started myself, or Instagram for your book, or make your own cover or something like that. And just really, really work hard to take a break, but make sure you come back to it fresh and ready to get started again. I'd say give it about 10-15 minute break. Obviously, if you want to keep going, keep going. If you need to stop, then stop, but do not force yourself to do it all in one go, because there is a thing as burning out with writing. You can write so much and so quickly and get so much done and be really proud of yourself, but when you stop, you cannot get started again. I did that over Christmas. It took me ages to get back into the swing of writing. After 3 weeks of doing no writing whatsoever, just playing games and all that sort of stuff, or no blogging, no social media or anything, it's very hard to come back to it. So do little and often, but keep doing as much as you can, and it will be a lot easier to keep track on where you are. Okay, tip number 4, I think. Get yourself a good folder. get yourself a ring binder. Use a ring binder or one with a lever arch or one with a small little piece of metal that holds all your work together so it's not flying about the place. Make sure it's all clamped down so you can flick through it gradually and look at it all as if you were reading an A4 book. So make sure you look at it, and it doesn't really matter what format your book is in right now because it is in the first draft. Or if it's a second draft, you can focus more on formatting it to look right on the page. And obviously if you're printing it, it will be quite small. It'll be probably about an A5 sort of size. So don't forget, it will change anyway when it gets printed properly. So just make sure you follow the directions. If you're printing it yourself, follow the formatting directions on the website and make sure you get it so you don't get anything cut off in printing. Obviously follow them, and if you need help, contact them. And if it's getting properly published, you'll have an editor, no doubt, that will go over it with you and give you notes and all that sort of stuff, and they will give you tips on how to format it. But make sure you research far ahead and have a look and see how you need to edit it and format it, because sometimes you can have bigger margins or smaller margins or a different font and stuff like that. So make sure you look and get that right. But I'd also recommend when you print it, leave enough space in the margins at the bottom and the header and the footer at the top, so you can handwrite notes if you wish. Or like I'm doing, I'm putting them in plastic sheets and then putting notes on top of them with a post-it note, and doing it that way to do that the first run through of edits, and then go over them and see if I still want to do those edits, and then do them handwritten on the page or straight onto the document online. So you could do whatever you want really, but as long as you keep going, you should be fine. Tip number 5, I would say get a cover. Make a book cover for your book. I make my own. I use a website called canva.com, so that's canva.com, and it's a fantastic way you can make Instagram story posts. It gives you a basic framework of a design that you can edit the text, you can add in free photos, you can pay for more popular photos, you can do that sort of thing, and you can basically make a pretty decent cover for nothing. And you can download it and you don't have to wait. It won't keep pestering you to put in credit card details. You can use the free version for as long as you want. You can use it online. They do have an app as well, which I've been slowly getting used to. But seeing it on the screen, and you can actually select book cover, so it will set the dimensions for you. There's the Wattpad one, so if you want to publish on Wattpad, there's one specifically with the details and the sizing for Wattpad. And you can do your own Instagram, you can do a short little quote from the book that I've done on an Instagram post that's perfectly designed and really pretty that you can post. I've got a lot more likes on those photos than I have on any that I've done myself, so it's really good. You can do it all by yourself, you can make whatever design you want, you get templates and everything like that. I am not sponsored, but I love Canva so much, and it really gets you pumped for your book, because if you have an image in your head of what you want to write, like recently I've got a new idea and I had an image of a forest in my head and a sort of like a sci-fi title, so I went into Canva, looked at this massive like load of trees and forest pictures that I could use, chose one that looked really like quite spooky but sort of like fantasy at the same time, put a title or any random title for now if you have a title, and then put your name at the bottom, and you just get this like overwhelming, like, oh my god, I could see this in a bookstore, and it gives you that really spark of motivation. There we go. It gives you that spark of inspiration and motivation, and it makes you feel good because you can imagine it in a store, someone picking it up, and you can even do the back of the cover if you want to put your synopsis or your blurb on the back and stuff like that, and it really gets you pumped and really makes you feel like an actual writer. And obviously if you do that before you print, you can actually print and have your front cover, as I've done in mine. I'm using it as a camera stand at the moment. That's how I feel about it right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go and edit, but really do work hard on your edits. If you need help, my blog is available. I'm available on Facebook. I'm Rebecca Louise Fox, author, on Facebook, and I'll put my blog down in the description. I'm trying to do more blog posts, But hopefully I'm going to do more video blogs like this and vlogs, so that I will put them and embed them in my blog, so it's a lot easier for people to watch. But yeah, this is my tips and tricks on editing, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!